What is going on, guys? Your boy Guns here, and KVK Ones has been announced. And no, my mic didn't cut off. I just needed a second to like process everything I'm about to get off my chest right now. So yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So we got 357, which is YSS. We got 341, which is NWE, and we got EVG, that's 320, right? So you guys see their power there, 43 billion power, 10 billion power, hello, 15 or almost close to 16 billion power. Then you got 756 at 11.8 billion power in KVK1, also hello. OMG 26.6, and then NVR at 34.43 billion, okay? Now, one of the biggest things that stands out to me here is it's interesting the way that they did this. Now, if all three cams can make it to final zone, it's going to be interesting. Okay, it's going to be interesting. And the reason why I say that is because although YSS is 43 billion power, they have a 10 billion power kingdom and a 16 billion power kingdom. And I say that because YSS has that advantage being at 43 billion power, but our camp has OMG and MVR, which are well-established kingdoms and fighting at the top level, right? OMG has a lot of spenders as well, big players. Look at the average player, guys. Look at the average player between. So OMG has 192 million average power player, and MVR has a 204 million power player average. So if all three get into final zone, it could be very, very interesting. Okay, and I will take a look at the map and make my predictions of like who's gonna go what and win what, right? And look, if server 341 and 320 don't lock in, it could be a very tough fight for YSS. Very, very, very tough fight for YSS because now they have to carry the weight of two other kingdoms, right? OMG is going to come in hard and we're going to come in hard. Okay. Pause. 756, on the other hand, I've never heard of them. Their merit to power ratio looks good. Okay. Their merit to power ratio looks good. So, I mean, on paper, it looks like they're active. So we'll see. Now, just looking at this alone, you can't make predictions just looking at this. You need to look at the overall map. Now, let's go ahead and go take a look at the map, okay? Keeping the numbers in mind. Now, I'll catch up with chat in a little bit. Okay, my matchup. Now, I'm playing this map currently on my Archer account as we speak, okay? Okay, so down low, we have 357 and 375 that share a statue. So pass one is going to be a statue fight between NVR and YSS. So that's going to be fun. That's obviously going to have its own little hype. Yeah, sure, it's a statue. It's not the end all be all, but it's a nice test of like just like a harp, like a pulse check essentially. Okay, and then over on the left we have pass two. I love that I just played this because it allows me to look at this a lot easier. So on the left we have pass two, which is going to be YSS versus OMG here in pass two. Now that's going to be interesting. I do think YSS is going to win that. However, OMG is pretty damn active and pretty strong. So it should be at least fun, at least like for like the first like 24 hours. Or who knows, maybe OMG surprises the crap out of us and holds like an insane defense against YSS, which is possible. It just depends on, you know, their builders, how they decide to play, making sure they don't overextend too early or full send too much against YSS there. Okay, so I think YSS will win that. And then if and when YSS win that, if they're strong enough to push OMG back, which on paper they should be, right? Now they have access to pass 5 down here, which has access to zone 3 up here. Okay, that's that one. Okay, next one on the right hand side, we have NVR versus 320, which is EVG. Okay, EVG is at 16 billion power, NVR is at 34 billion power. Like, that is an even bigger gap between OMG and YSS, I think. I don't know. Someone check the math. So I think we're gonna win versus EVG there, which is gonna also give us access to zone 3 here on the other side. Now, past 3, okay, and then up here we have 756 versus 341. Okay, 756 is SAB, which is 11.8 billion power, versus 341, which is 11 billion power. That's probably going to be like that's the closest matchup up there. Now, I don't know who's going to win that. I honestly don't know who's going to win that. And honestly, it could really change up the entire map, right? Because if 341 can win there, now they have access into zone 3 when pass 5
I smell
opens.
fear from the enemy camp. Excuses incoming.
Let me see. Who was that? Hera with the $9.99. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the love, my boy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Now, zone 3 is going to be interesting, right? Zone 3, which is going to be the Necro zone, which is in this area here. We're going to have YSS and NVR going fucking head to head, baby. Woo! My God. That's going to be a little something, gentlemen. Let me tell you. It's going to be a little something there. Yeah. All hell's going to break loose. The world itself is going to stop when NVR, and when I say the world, I'm talking about our Call of Dragons world, obviously. It's going to be ham, bro. I mean, chat. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be crazy, right? Because, look, if YSS absolute dogs, like just dog walk us, the KVK's over. But if we give them a good fight, which I think we can, it's going to be a great KVK. Now, it's all going to depend here. Look, a lot of things can happen. YSS could potentially smack the shit out of MVR, and then MVR no longer has final zone, and then we're going to probably have to work in through pass 5 over here on the left side to come in with OMG together on the left. Now, I have faith in MVR that we can hold in zone 3. I don't know. I don't think we have the power right now to beat YSS, but I think we do have the power to hold some insane defenses on them, okay? And look, Dark is a pretty seasoned war lead. I'm sure he's going to see if the defense is a little too insane, then they probably won't full send on that, because I know how Dark war leads, and they're not gonna just go for broke early. Now that's just Dark. The YSS original leadership, okay, Tomato, Penguin, all those guys, they love to full send. They don't care. They like to ooga booga, which could be, a little. It could be good or bad, right? Sometimes the Ooga Booga and continuing pushing and breaking your enemy's soul could end up winning you the KVK. Other times it could overstretch you and cause complications within the alliance, which is something that could potentially happen. We saw when BDO went against a Fresh Echo. BDO thought they were going to stomp a Fresh Echo, which their first season, and BDO found out real quick, holy crap, the right alliance behind a defense or a good choke is insanely difficult to deal with. So we could potentially see something similar play out there. Now, like I said, if it ends up going into the Dragon, that's going to be, it's going to be hell. We're going to have so much PvP this KVK. I'm telling you guys that right now because I am currently in a KVK right now. I'm currently in a KVK right now where it's just fighting every single day. I think I'm at like 17 mil merits on my low spend account that I haven't really resource healed on, only when I got rallied, which was only like 100 mil mana. I did a few T4s, so man, I'm probably close to like 150-ish mana, so nothing crazy. Now, let me turn the camera on for this one. What are my thoughts on the kingdoms that they chose for this KVK? I mean, flat out, I'm going to say it. I personally don't like it. I personally don't like it because you got, for example, like us versus EVG in that zone. That is extremely imbalanced, right? YSS, it doesn't matter who they fight. It's always going to be imbalanced. Right? Now, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. I think this would have been a perfect season to implement the teleports. So what do I mean by that? I get what the devs are trying to do by trying to I see what they did. I see what they did, and maybe you guys saw what they did in the chat. They're trying to mix it up, okay? They're trying to make it in a way where, like, we're not going to make it top 6 fighting each other all the time. Like, one of the biggest things the community always talks about is like, oh, we're tired of fighting the same people, wah, 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 right? Da, 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 da. Even though in every top game, on every top performances, it's usually the same people fighting each other either way at the top level. There's only going to be one top level no matter how big your game is. So either way, that's always going to be a problem. However, I do appreciate the fact that they tried going with something a little bit different, but I think the way that they laid out the map was the miss. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, if you're going to put these kingdoms that are at 11 billion power, 12 billion power, whatever, what was it again? Kingdoms, what, 11 billion power, 16 billion power, and 12 billion power in KVK1, they need to make it in a way where the bigger kingdoms can support the smaller kingdoms. That way, for example, instead of it being like a raw 1v1, okay, you can kind of mix match it where like the bigger king, the stronger kingdom and the lower kingdom go into a zone together, and they fight like a 2v2. And in a 3v3, you could do two different versions of a 2v2 essentially before you even get to final zone. That way you kind of support that lower kingdom so they're not just in complete hell. Because what's going to happen is when those stronger kingdoms go into a 1v1 versus another kingdom that has a 15 billion power advantage, they're going to get demotivated. They're not going to want to sign into, and they're not going to want to log into the game anymore. And that becomes a big issue, not only for us as players, but also for the game itself and the future of the game. So if for future seasons, if they want to do this style of play, they need to figure out a way for the stronger kingdoms to support their lower kingdoms. That way they're not just in complete hell every pass they go for. Now here's the thing. I mentioned it before. I've said it that you can request to change the Diplo here, I'm pretty sure. But every single king needs to approve of it. Would I personally change anything here out of this entire camp? Probably not. Probably not. I think the way that they chose OMG and us to be together, and then YSS be over there with like some kingdoms that don't have experience in KVK1. I think it's the most fair play, at least for these 6 kingdoms here. So that's what I would say. I would say with this approach, they need to figure out a way to support each other. Now they could either do that via access to zones, or bringing in those teleports or those portals, I should say, to be able to assist your allies across maps or wherever the assistance is needed. Because they're, like I said, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, so I'll say it again. They just need to figure out ways to support some of the smaller kingdoms so it's not just completely lopsided, okay? We got my boy Fluffy in the chat. Pack your bags, Luffy. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, overall, that's kind of how I feel with it. Also, like, Illuminati being in KBK like 4 or 6 or something like that. NTS also said they're like in KBK like 6 or something like that. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how it's all playing out. When was the last time Guns main won a season? Last season? Or what happened last season? 25. Did we lose last season? Dude, my brain, I played the Modern Warfare beta this weekend. Okay, my brain is fried. My brain is fried. We won? Okay. We won last season. What? Like what? What are you talking about? Come on, how many times motherfucker? When was the last time you got good merits? The fuck. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, I mean, overall, who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what's gonna? All I know is gonna be a banger between YSS and NVR. It's going to be an absolute banger, and there's going to be so much PvP this KVK because there's so many areas that you can invade and move around. So I do think that we're going to see a lot of fighting this KVK. Am I excited for it? Obviously. I mean, I'm a Call of Dragons kid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to say like I'm a COD kid, and like now I'm just, like, and when I say COD, I mean like Call of Duty. Like, I mean, Call of Duty is just, or Call of Dragons is just culture for me now, bro. So Zone 3 is in 2 weeks. Oh no. Yeah, it's gonna happen quick. It's gonna happen real quick. I also want to say, I appreciate the change in Brink of War only being 1 day. However, I would love to see it to where when KVK starts or Brink of War starts, just send us straight into the KVK already. We're in Zone 1, like nothing happening. You might as well just put Brink of War there, and it kind of allows to have a little bit less downtime. I know some people want more downtime. Obviously, you know, me being a full time and also a DGen. Because even if I was working, I would still put in some work. You feel me? I've done it before several times. I wasn't always a full-time gamer. But, yeah, that would be nice. Having Brink of War, like, within Zone 1 while, you know, you're doing your policies and everything. There's just a lot going on to kind of, you know, bring that downtime down a little bit. And let me see. If you guys have any comments in the YouTube chat right now, let me know. Let me know if you guys want me to address anything on this video specifically. Let's see. Let's take it off to some questions in the chat. Let's see. I would rather have more unbalanced 1v1s than a boring final zone that has been decided since Zone 2. Yeah, and that comes down to accessibility. Right, you guys know that I'm a big fan of having Dragon Zone be accessible to everyone. I don't think Dragon Zone should be something where people end up getting locked out and they don't even see a Dragon Zone. You know what I mean? I don't think that should ever be a thing. I think that you can have a lot of fighting across the zones that make it to where they end up gaining control of a specific structure or behemoth or whatever that gives you that extra edge, like a good edge for the final zone win, right? I do think that they can implement something like that to kind of motivate people to continue pushing and fighting. Let's see. Let's see, I just feel bad for smaller kingdoms in this scenario, but I bet it's going to be a banger. OMG NVR versus YSS. That's crazy, BZR. He didn't even include the other people. That's wild. I have a question. Is YSS of... Okay, Nipa is trolling. First time caller, long time listener. Who... I gotta see what you did there. Someone getting locked out this KVK? Yeah. Fluffy said, I hope it's us. I want to play defense. I will make a personal to keep next... I can see us fighting every single day after past 3 opening. Yeah, definitely. S320 has no access to Dragon. Okay. Why says they're too scared to fight MVR? Oh my god, Nipa just non-stop rage baiting in the chat right now. Non-stop rage baiting in the chat. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the recording there. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. If you agree with what the things I said, if you don't agree, let me know what you counter. And let me know, guys. It's gonna be very interesting. I know I didn't show you guys like the full numbers. Like seeing charts just kind of annoys me. I don't know about you guys, but like when I watch videos where like it's just charts the entire video, it just kind of it turns me off. You know what I mean? So like that's why I wanted to show you guys the main numbers there. Obviously, there's a lot of other numbers that matter, right? Like, you know, that like a bunch of other numbers that matter, but maybe that could be a video for a different day. But for then, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. You do not want to miss this KVK. YSS versus MVR. Okay, man, things are changing nowadays, chat. Like I'm having an unk moment. I'm having an unk moment right now where I'm like, I remember the good old days of TFS versus EIS or EIS versus Echo. You know what I mean? And you know, WB versus Echo, you know what I mean? Like pretty much the names that we were used to seeing at the top level there, or TFS versus Noir, you know what I mean? Like the good old, like, and now it's like a change of the tide now. We got YSS versus MVR. So anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Definitely helps me out a ton. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, like I mentioned, subscribe, hit that bell notification, lets you know when I go live or drop a new video, guys. Next time, it's your boy Guns, and I'm out. Peace.
Not